Hello, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me today. We're going to continue on the wonderful subject matter of focusing on Him. Did you realize in Scripture there's a principle that's woven from Genesis all the way through the book of Revelation that really teaches us the importance of focusing on Him? The principle is this, and it's very simple. We become what we behold. Whatever we gaze or look upon, then that becomes the object of our affection, where we draw strength or inspiration or guidance. And therefore, it's so important for us as people to look unto Jesus. And that's going to be our text today. It's found in Hebrews chapter 12. Of course, Hebrews chapter 12 follows the great chapter of Hebrews chapter 11 about all of those who by faith did great exploits. Well, how did they do it? Well, Hebrews chapter 12 gives us some insight. Therefore, we also, in other words, we're included with this great company of believers, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before you and I. You and I both have our own race. And there's a way that we can draw strength so we can endure during this race of faith, so we could obtain the promises of God. And here it is, verse 2, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, what? Who for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, despised the shame, and he has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. That's a victorious position. And verse 3 tells us, consider him who endured such hostility from sinners against himself, unless you become weary and discouraged in your soul. You have not resisted, and I have not resisted the bloodshed, striving against sin. So in this race that we're in, this wonderful walk of faith, we have others that have preceded us. And they're that great cloud of witnesses that is surrounding us. I love the imagery of that, a great cloud of witnesses. In the heavens, there are those who ran their race well and looked unto the Lord. And because of that, they are cheering us on from the grandstands of heaven, one translation said. Isn't that a great imagery? We're not alone. Others have done this, and we can do it. And then it admonishes us, put aside the weights and the sins that are slowing and hindering this race. And then how do I put aside the weight and the sin? And the way that I do it is look unto Jesus. You know, weights are things that slow us down. They're not necessarily sins, but then there are things that are categorized in our life as sinful. Those are the things that we really need to judge and put away. And one way we can do that is when we look unto Jesus, we see this beautiful person and this perfect example of someone who strived against sin and overcame, and therefore we can draw inspiration from him. Now, this statement is where I want to sort of wrap up my time with you today. Who for the joy that was set before him. What in the world is the writer of the book of Hebrews talking about? Well, we were the joy that was set before Jesus. In Jesus' most difficult moment and his most challenging time of going to the cross with all of its shame and all the things that it brought with it, the thing that gave him the ability to go all the way through was he knew on the other side of his suffering, he would make a way for salvation. And that brought joy to him. Can you imagine that? Jesus was looking on the other side of the cross at us. He did it for our needs. Therefore, on this side of the cross, let's look unto him. Let's keep looking unto Jesus in every season, every circumstance, every situation. Why? Because he is the author and the finisher of our faith. And we are the epistle that are read and known of all men. What's the word epistle mean? God's writing a great story in our life. We're a book, and it reflects his goodness. Let's look unto him. God bless you. Have a great day.